Hello, Nick. We're just talking to Torch a little bit about the shortened camp and no exhibition games, and you know how he likes to get you guys into shape. Tell me a little bit about the work you guys have done on your own prior to this camp opening tomorrow to get yourself in the type of shape that you need to be in, knowing what you're facing in terms of a short window.
Yeah, I mean, we've been fortunate just to have a lot of guys be in town, and I think we know full well what a John Tortorella training camp is like. So I think we've prepared really well. I think we've had great skates. We've had skates with purpose. You know, I think a lot of times in the summer, you're just trying to get your feel back, and but we've had skates where we've worked on penalty kill, power play. We've worked on things that on our own that have kind of got us in that mindset of how we're going to need to play. I mean, we don't have a lot of time, so just certain aspects of the game, 5-on-5 play, and that I think are going to bode well once we get into camp. We know kind of going back to the bubble training camp how quick we get to playing games. So we want to make every minute count. I think just the training, we were tired of doing the training off ice. We were excited to get on the ice as a group, and we're definitely looking forward to training camp starting tomorrow.
Nick, who drives that? Is that you as a captain? Is that a leadership group? When guys are not feeling it maybe on a particular day, who drives it to make sure you're keeping that edge?
Well, I think it's all of us. I mean, I think everyone has a responsibility to each other to make sure we're ready for camp. So, it's every guy showing up that knows there's a job to do. They're not asking for much time. You know, when we come here, we still get one of the greatest jobs in the world. We come here for a few hours, train, get on the ice and get to go home to our families. So while you're here, it's a job, it's a business, and finding that motivation, because we know what we're up against here. This is something unprecedented. We've never done this before, playing this kind of style. So all we can control is our abilities to be ready and to come together as a team. And I think when you have that mindset, it doesn't really take a lot of guys to have to pull each other into it. It's everybody's looking forward to getting on the ice and playing. I mean, this is when we should be middle of the season right now. So I think the hunger to be on the ice is never an issue, and guys have been fantastic.
Next, we'll go to Aaron Portzline. Go ahead, Porty.
Hey, Nick, we've talked in the past. When you're the captain, there's always something. There's always a fire to put out somewhere. As a guy who's committed to the city, not just this franchise, but the city, how do you handle the talk that Pierre-Luc Dubois would perhaps like a change of scenery? Is that something you go to him with? Is that something you talk to him about and try to dissuade him from, or how do you handle it?
Yeah, you know what? I honestly don't focus too much on it. I think you know how we run things here. I mean, if you're here, you're committed to being here until we hear otherwise or told otherwise. So, I think we've dealt with it in the past. I've had obviously situations, but it's also outside chatter that really doesn't affect our room. And we'll have our own conversation with Luke like any player, and know that he's going to be ready to go. I know he's excited to be back and get with the group. So for me, all that stuff's outside noise and takes us away from what we're really trying to focus on. That's winning hockey games and getting ready for the season. And so, and until told otherwise, he's one of us, and he's excited to be here, and we approach it that way. But I think from past experiences how we handle things, and I think it's really bode well for our team, and all the guys here are committed to being here.
Thanks.
No problem.
Next, we'll go to Brian Hedger. Go ahead, Hedge.
Yeah, hey, Nick, you mentioned kind of leading right into my question that those past instances, one of them obviously was 2018-19 with Panarin and Bobrovsky in specifics. That was not the whole season, but it was a lot of the season you guys had to deal with, maybe like meetings and stuff. Was that a healthy process for you guys? I guess ultimately it seemed like it was, to kind of get it out there. And is that something that you anticipate may have to happen again? Sorry about the thing.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think for us, it's about not taking our eye off of what really matters. As much as every individual matters to the team, not, their individual things are always going to come up, and there's always going to be contract disputes, and there's always going to be things that go on throughout the season. But ultimately, it can't take away from the team. And as long as we approach it that way, as long as whoever's involved in that is approaching it that way, then we never have an issue. And we go about it the way we have always. And I think that's something that we've learned, obviously, going through what you mentioned before. But that's the mandate here. When you're coming in the locker room, when you're coming here to work, we're not worried about anything else you have going on. You're here to do a job. So, like I said, until told otherwise, that stuff's all way above my pay grade. And happily, I'm here to lead this team and help lead this team. And we got a great group of guys that want to be here, want to be part of something special, and Luke is involved in that. So we're excited to get going with him.
Next, we'll go to Mark Scheig. Go ahead, Mark.
Hey, Nick, I'm just curious what your thought on the schedule is this year, knowing that you play the same team back-to-back games, and later in the season you have a Carolina 4 times in a row. Do you feel like that's a good thing for your team?
Yeah, I think I'm going to be in the penalty box a little bit more than I expected. Just with the hate that you're going to probably get on for a lot of these teams. I don't think we're used to playing playoff series against every single team in our division. You think about it, it's pretty much what it is. So that'll be unique, and I think it'll get the emotion into the game quite quickly, and but make it how important it is. I mean, let's be honest, this is a sprint. This is not like a get into the season, see how your young guys are doing, and feel out where everyone fits, and then really kind of hit the ground running after Thanksgiving. This is a sprint to the playoffs. So I think we're approaching it that way, and have that mindset. And these games are going to mean something. The team that gets out of the gate quickly is going to really give themselves a really good chance, down the road to be in that spot that you want to be in, and one of the top 4 teams in your division.
Next, we'll go to Jeff Svoboda. Go ahead, Jeff.
Hey, Nick, good to see you again. Just wanted to ask, last year there was such a different situation coming in with the goaltenders because, there was a little bit of inexperience there. Now, there was different times a year ago where they were, as Torch just said, kind of the backbone of your team. How much does that just allow you guys as a team to have confidence in them, and maybe let you play a little bit differently in front of them as well?
Yeah, well, I think we always did, to be honest with you. I mean, as players, I think we knew what they were capable of. Obviously, Elvis, not so much, hadn't seen him much, but Corpy, I mean, the workload that he's handled and always kind of carried himself, I think we always had confidence in our goaltending. They proved it to the rest of the hockey world, I think, this year, and that has to continue. I mean, that's their job. In order to, for us to have success, they're going to have to be just as good. But it's a good challenge for us too to continue to play as well as we did in front of them, and that has to be. We hear a lot of talk about goals and things that have to come with our team, but we can't lose that identity that we had in front of them. I mean, that's so important to who we are and why teams hate playing against us, and that has to be a mandate, and it will be. You can see the commitment really in the bubble, and even at the end of the season before the break kind of hit, and that's who we are as a group. And I think the scoring will take care of itself as we get more confident and some new faces in the lineup, and we're excited to get going here as a group with those guys, especially backing us up.
Okay, next we'll go to Whitney Harding. Go ahead, Whitney.
Hey, Nick. With this being such a weird season, it's shortened. It's just odd. How is this lineup shaping up to really kind of take advantage of that with the goaltender, center depth, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're built right. If you look at our group, we had some veteran presence with Mikko Koivu and obviously some skill with Max Domi and Mikhail Grigorenko, and I think that really helps our group and where the wants and needs were for us. So I think we're just excited about getting together and starting to gel as a group. I mean, we had some changes this year with guys leaving, guys coming in, and but we really feel confident about the core that we have. The D core that we have, the goaltending tandem, and the forwards. I think there's guys that are looking to have rebound years, and then also guys that are looking to take next steps. I mean, you have the emergence of Oliver Bjorkstrand, who I'm sure wants to continue his play, and young guys that are pushing and are going to get a great opportunity. So we are really confident in our group if we come together like we're going to try and do here, and have that feeling that we had in the bubble where we're one unit. I think that's so important for who we are. That's how we play. When we become that team, that hard-nosed, that team that fights for one another, we're a tough team to play against, tough team to beat, and we're going to try and get that identity right away.
Couple more for Nick. We'll go to Craig Merz. Go ahead, Mersey.
Hey, Nick. We know how well everything worked in the NHL in the bubble. What's going to be the challenge to play a hockey season outside the bubble? You're at home, you're with your family.
Well, I think the bubble was a lot of hand-holding, if you think about it. We really didn't have to think about anything that we were doing. We were in a bubble. We weren't really able to get to the outside world. And so I think what's going to change is that we're going to have to self-police. We're going to have to really be cognizant of what we're doing and how it affects everybody. Before, there was no families involved. There was no worrying about going anywhere and doing anything wrong. Everything was taken care of for us. It was kind of senseless where you just walked around and were herded like cattle throughout the hotel and the arena. Now it's you're going to have some real life things that go on and some normal life aspects, and everywhere is kind of different. You got Florida that's a little bit more opened up. So there's going to be little instances, I'm sure, throughout the year where we're going to have to really think about, is this worth it as a group? even at home, is I have kids. So the play dates, the things that they do, the activities, you want them to continue to have a normal life, but how does that affect me and my team? And you never want to put somebody in a vulnerable position and especially hurt our team's chances of continuing to play. So I think that's where the biggest thing is going to be, the maturity of our group to really understand this is bigger than us and everybody plays a part. And no matter how small of a thought it is or instance, it can really affect our group. And we have to be cognizant of that and know that there's a bigger thing at stake here, and that's playing games to put all our hard work towards winning a Stanley Cup.
Last one for Nick. We'll go to Jeff Svoboda. Go ahead, Jeff.
Nick, good to see you again. Wanted to ask as well about Max Domi, and a guy you played against a little bit the past couple of years, but obviously a big move to trade Josh to bring him in. Just what's the excitement level of working him in and seeing what he can bring to the table?
Yeah, and just seeing him already, his skill level and what he brings, his vision, his passing, his playmaking ability, and his speed. I think he's going to fit in really well, especially, right now he's opening up with Cam and myself. And I think we've already kind of understood how each other plays just by skating together. And, I think we're excited about what he's going to bring to our group, the tenacity that he plays with as well. A lot gets talked about his skill, but he plays with a little swagger out there. And I think that's important. That's who we are as a group. And I think he's excited to get going. I think this part, when you're early on and you want to get with the group and just start actually feeling a Tortorella practice. He's asked a lot of questions about what that's going to be like. And, but I think he's really enjoyed the group and Columbus. And you can tell right away, he's already a locker room favorite. He's just a good guy and somebody that we're really excited to have. So looking forward to getting to work with him.
Thank you very much, Nick.
Thank you, guys. Happy New Year, everybody.